Hello everybody, Ryan here from Guitar Teacher Tools with another app review / in-depth guide to a tuning app. Now you may be wondering, why does he have Guitar Tuna up? He's already done a video on Guitar Tuna. You can check this out here. Well, the other day I was teaching my kids how to tune, and I've been using this Guitar Tuna app for many years. The one reason I really like this for beginners is the interactive headstock. At the time when this came out, it was one of the first apps that I found that did this. And it's been great. I've pretty much used it for my personal use. It works great in the classroom, 30 kids all tuning at once. You can have this app on the stand and even somebody right next to it, and a room full of kids playing it. It works really well. So I've had no reason really to search out anything else, to be honest. And again, if you watched my video before, the only kind of annoying thing now is they do want a subscription, and every couple of times you turn it on, it asks you for a subscription and things like that. Or one of the things, after you're done tuning, a lot of times a song will scroll up and cover the thing up saying, well, I guess you're done, here's a song. Again, for free. I've never really complained too much about it. Again, can't do much with that. But again, it's been a great tool for teaching the kids. So I did my normal tuning lesson this year, and because now this is my second year in high school, I have more kids now. I've done middle school for over 20 years, and I've switched to high school recently. So one thing that's changed is quite a few high schoolers have already picked up the guitar now, or they had guitar in middle school themselves. So some of them already have some of this knowledge, and many of them already had Guitar Tuna, know how it works great. Many of them have not done anything with guitar, so they're starting out. So we balance it out. One of the kids shared with me, he says, I use this Simply Tune, because I was talking about the ads and things, and so we have this Simply Tune up in the corner, so I thought I'll give it a try. He showed it to me, and so I came home in a couple days. I've been trying it out, and again, you can see very comparable. Like the name implies, Simply Tune. It's a little bit more simple of an interface, but in the top left and the top right, you still have the same two buttons that Guitar Tuna did. Instead of a bubble, you've got a line, no big deal. Highlights there. I like the little you can see the white arrow kind of animated pointing to the string, just to extra reassure that, hey, is this a string you're trying? And then of course, as I'm speaking, it's trying to distinguish this, but I like that purple line and the white animation that goes up to that key as well. Because one of the first things I notice with kids trying to tune, especially ones that have little experience with guitars, finding the right key for the right string they're trying to tune. They're constantly turning the wrong one and messing up the tuning even worse. So just that extra little animation goes from there. I do also am playing around with this. Now it does have songs you can see in the bottom left I can look up. I'm not really here to do any of that. The kids sometimes will look at that. But I really like this chord library that they have. Very clear chord diagrams, having the real-time picture there just to kind of help that. Sometimes it's a little harder to tell exactly from the picture, but it's helpful. One thing I like about this though is you can watch a tutorial about how to do that. Now if I do that now, it does cut off my recording. I learned earlier I had to redo this for that, but you can click on this. You can also practice the chord and do some various things like that. And then of course you can look advanced, and it will show you extra hard versions of those. So that's great as well. But again, the biggest thing for me is, again, just simply free. Don't need to pay a monthly subscription for all of this stuff. Ad free, and just nice clean interface. The only disadvantage that I've seen is when the day 2 I came back to the other classes and says, hey, just so you're interested, or if you're interested, here's a secondary app. I was kind of showing them, we practiced it. Now my use at home was no problem with the microphone picking up, of course. One thing we did notice is it did have a little bit of harder time deciphering which notes to play in the classroom full of kids tuning. We did have to get the phone a little bit closer to the device to make that pick up. So it's not a huge deal. Most of you that are probably watching this probably aren't even teaching rooms full of guitar kids, but just yourself or for your own students' recommendations. But it did work. It did work. So I'm not going to go through a whole tutorial how to tune with this. You can watch my other videos for that. I just wanted to give a kind of a quick overview of some of the differences and some of the things I like a little bit about this. And now this, as you saw earlier, this is just now on my main screen for tuning, and probably this will be my go-to, and again, just a secondary option. And as I was researching a little bit more, I did find more apps that do now have this interactive thing. I just try and steer beginners away from the app that just displays the letter and if it's in tune or not. as they get more experience, they can gravitate towards those. And some of the kids already had that kind of app, and I just told them the difference here with that. But again, just a nice clean interface and some very useful tools, and again, ad-free. So hopefully this will help you a little bit in your decision of what app you might want to use to tune your guitar, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.